Welcome to Blueprint Mania. In this series, I can only build rides, but I'm limited to the amount of pieces that I can build with through the amount of pieces that's given to me through a blueprint. So let's get into episode 1 of Blueprint Mania. So as you can see here, we have this spinning coaster, and I'll be theming it off of a pirate themed area. Now for the spinning coaster, I'm planning on doing different scenes. However, I have a limited amount of pieces to build this. So as we check how many pieces we actually have, let me go and save the design here. Yeah, as you can see, we only have 917 pieces, which is not a whole lot to build. So let's see what I can actually build with 970 pieces. And I actually want to make this ride super detailed. So this will make this, that is a weird sentence to say, this will be very difficult and very challenging to build, especially if I want to make a super detailed ride. So let's get straight into it. So the first thing that I'll be doing for this roller coaster is actually building walls around this coaster, because most of this coaster I decided to build it in an indoor style area. So let me do that real quick off screen, since this process is actually quite boring. So now that I finished building the walls, the next thing that I'll be doing is actually painting the walls black, because I want to make something similar to the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at California, where there's a pirate ship that is fighting with a pirate fort. So let me go and do that next. Now with the walls painted black, let's get into the first scene for this roller coaster. This scene will be a cave scene with some gold or sunken treasure. So as we begin on the rocks, I'm just deciding which rocks I do want to use for this roller coaster, and I decided to use these rocks because I feel like these rocks will look the best for underwater use, as I got stuck in one of the rocks, getting myself unstuck and actually continued to work on these rocks. For these rocks, well, first I decided to change the color of the rocks because I realized, well, it didn't really look that good as a light gray. I took a little break from the rock placing because I realized this next scene will be the biggest scene for this ride, so I decided to place some of the water down. This will eventually be where the boat will go, and as well as another boat on the opposite side shooting at each other to make it look like some sort of battle scene in the water or ocean. So far, here's what I've got for this roller coaster. As you can see, I placed rocks down by the entrance of the roller coaster. Eventually, I'll place some gold or some treasure there to make it look like it's some sunken treasure. Now, you may also notice that I'm placing some water down by using this tinfoil effect with this dark blue color and not using glass primitives to make like a glass water effect, which is actually possible in this game. The reason why I'm not doing that is because that takes a lot of pieces to build. Now, what I'll be doing next for this roller coaster is actually building the pirate ships, because I feel like that'll be the one build that will take up a lot of pieces to build, especially for this roller coaster. So that's what I'll be doing next, which will be going on either side of this chain lift, which I am standing in front of. So I guess let's get into building some pirate ships. So as we get into the pirate ship, you can see that I started building the pirate ship. So for this pirate ship, I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing, to be honest. However, I'm using a concept image to try to figure this out, and hopefully it turns out quite cool. So using the primitives, I'm just trying to figure out the shape, and initially I tried just using like a rectangular primitive with some cylinder primitives in the front to try to get the shape and just make them wider as I go up each layer. And this, however, wasn't working, and you can see that I had to manually place each one down individually. So as I'm looking at the concept image of all the pirate ship parts and not understanding a single bit of it because of how confusing it is, other than maybe the bow of the ship and the stern. And as I'm working on here, apparently according to the concept image and the pirate ship parts, not sure if it's correct, hopefully it's correct, but I'm working on the bow of the ship as well as the front part of the deck, which is at the front of the ship. Now I'm just finishing the rest of the pirate ship, and you may also notice that I had to build the rest off screen since I was having some difficulties building the boat. So here's the finished pirate ship. As you can see, I added some windows on the side which represent the captain's quarters. I also added some sails on the deck, which was probably one of the hardest things that I built for this pirate ship. The next thing I also added is some cannons and some cannonballs. I'm not going to show that because that's something you can find in the Theme Park Tycoon 2 game, so it's nothing too special. Anyway, as I'm going to go and place this pirate ship down, one of the downsides are that it's 109 pieces, but I'm not going to be changing this since I feel like this is the best thing that I built inside of Theme Park Tycoon 2, and it turned out quite amazing. Now, before I go and place the pirate ships down, I do want to mention that it did add some rocks off screen along this wall. Now, this is nothing too special, so let's go and place the very amazing pirate ships down to make this coaster look really cool. So this turned out quite amazing. However, there are a few downsides. One of the downsides is that the pirate ships are too close to the roller coaster track, meaning I may need to change one of the pirate ships to something else. However, at this point, I'm still not decided on what that is yet. The second thing is that the roller coaster walls are a little bit too short, and I have to make the walls higher to fit the pirate ship. This is a problem since I don't have a whole lot of pieces left to build this roller coaster under one blueprint, and I still haven't even started on the outside of the roller coaster yet. Also, that is all I have for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel, leaving a like down below, as well as commenting what your favorite part of the video was. And I'll see you in the next episode of Building Blueprint Mania. See ya!